Hi everyone! The main focus of today's video is going to be Jim Henson's Labyrinth. We will be talking about other things as well, but the main focus of the video is going to be Labyrinth, the movie. So, basically, first of all, the main character is called Sarah, and basically she represents the Revelation 12 woman. And basically, right, you see that she's wearing white for heaven and blue for Jesus. Well, basically, you see, this is the Revelation 12 woman right here. See how the clothing that Sarah is wearing pretty much matches the clothing that this woman is wearing. So, that being said, there's other Sarahs in popular culture that also represent the Revelation 12 woman, including Sarah Jane Smith from Doctor Who, and even Sarah Page from Primeval. Notice how all three of these characters seem to have the same hair colour, or at least a similar hair colour. But basically, another person who represents the Revelation 12 woman is Alice in Wonderland. And another person who represents the Revelation 12 woman is Snow White. Another person who represents the Revelation 12 woman is Cinderella. But that's the thing. In Labyrinth, it's like a cross between Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, and Snow White. Because like Labyrinth is basically like Wonderland. Then when Sarah takes a bite from the fruit, it's like when Snow White takes a bite out of the poison apple. And then basically in Labyrinth there's like this ball type scene, and that sort of reminded me of when Cinderella goes to the ball. Anyway, so also this character in Primeval, she's called Sarah Page. So page, just like you have pages of a book. Now, remember the Labyrinth book, but also remember that Alice in Wonderland was originally a book. Also remember that Cinderella had blonde hair, just like Alice in Wonderland has blonde hair. Anyway, moving on. So, my novel is called The Story of Wittenborough, right? And the main character in that novel is called Betsy Schadenforth. Now, Betsy Schadenforth, that's another person who represents the Revelation 12 woman. And basically, she goes through a maze in this book. So it's just like when Sarah in Labyrinth goes through the labyrinth, aka the maze. So, now, let's turn our attention to David Bowie's Goblin King character. He represents just like the Goblin King out of The Hobbit, but he also represents Satan as well, the villain. Just like Stephen King's It, that's what he represents. See? The David Bowie character represents this clown right here, because Satan likes to disguise himself as a clown. Like, he's not really a clown, though. Like, he's like a creature, just like it. See, Satan wants to spread madness. That's why you can see the letters M-A-D here for mad, see? So, it has everything to do with your Joker in Batman. Because, obviously, the Joker is an evil clown. Anyway, the Clown Prince of Crime, to be exact. Just like Satan is the Prince of Liars and the Lord of Flies, coming with his Zika virus. Anyway, now one of our teammates, Alex Langland, he pointed out a really good bit of symbolism in one of his recent videos, and it's basically to do with this character right here, shown on the Michael Jackson Dangerous cover, and he pointed out very cleverly that this guy represents the greatest showman, just like the new Hugh Jackman film that has just come out, The Greatest Showman. But the point is, like, that, like, the Illuminati and Freemasons, they see everything as like a big show. So yeah, but yeah, so Sarah out of Labyrinth represents this woman, and then the David Bowie Goblin King character represents this dragon that comes after her. So now we're going to take a look at Hollyoaks, what this character Adam says. Because, like, well, he represents just like Adam out of the Bible, you know, like Adam and Eve. A nasty, selfish witch. So he called the Darcy character a nasty, selfish witch. Now, Darcy, she's another person who represents the Revelation 12 woman, and she's got blonde hair like Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella as well. So, so her name is Darcy in Hollyoaks. Just like you have Darcy Bustle, another Rev 12 woman character. See how she's wearing white for heaven? Just like Sarah, see? So, basically, right? Remember, Adam called Darcy a witch. Just like you have Sabrina, the teenage witch. See how she's also blonde as well, see? See how she also represents the Rev 12 woman. And she's shown here with a black cat. Just like you have Black Cat out of Spider-Man, out of Marvel. She's another person who represents the Rev 12 woman. Just like you have Shadowcat out of X-Men and out of Marvel. She also represents the Rev 12 woman. So, let's recap. We have the Scarlet Witch. She represents the Rev 12 woman as well. We have Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She's a Rev 12 woman character. And then we have, of course, Adam in Hollyoaks calling Darcy a witch, because Darcy's a Rev 12 woman character as well. So, basically, like all of these people who I've been talking about that I've said represent the Rev 12 woman, yeah, they all represent her. This heavenly woman stood on the moon right here. Darcy isn't really the nasty, selfish witch. It's actually Maggie who is. Maggie is another character in Hollyoaks, because she may have cancer, Maggie, but that's what the Illuminati and Freemasons do. They make you feel sorry for horrible characters. So, like, because the Maggie character, she's basically cut her son Scott out of her life, and that's like really nasty. Like, I mean, that's going in Woman of Wickedness territory, and the Woman of Wickedness is like somebody else who is in the Bible. Just like she is represented by characters like the new female mummy, for example, out of that Tom Cruise movie. This is the Maggie character that I've been talking about, and she is cutting this guy Scott out of her life, who happens to be her son. Now, this Damon guy, like, he's Scott's brother, and he's not happy about this whole situation because he thinks she should have Scott in her life, and he doesn't want anything to do with her until she includes Scott in her life. See? The elephants. Just like Ganesh coming. Just like the elephant shown in the No Church in the Wild video by Kanye West. Just like the elephants shown in Lord of the Rings. Well, I should say Oliphants, because they're like fictional beasts. Anyway, so you can see the ape right here. That can represent just like Planet of the Apes, and even King Kong. See? Because he's got a crown on his head, just like a king. Could represent just like Caesar as well. Anyway, so Michael Jackson, he's warning us of Satan, because Satan is a dangerous beast. So he's warning us of him. Like, but he's also warning us about the dangerous times to come. Like, well, the dangerous times have already started, to be honest. Like the dangerous times were already going on when Michael Jackson was still alive. Then, of course, here you have the Illuminati Eye of Horus. And then over here you have, like, the Skull and Bone Society thing. And then, if you look there, there's an elephant again, look. And then, I think this here is to do with Noah's Ark. Because, like, two of every animal and such. Like, and see this Ringling Brothers guy, like, who represents the elite. Like, the rich Freemasons. So, you could say that this Damon guy is almost like your Jesus character, because he's, like, trying to love his brother, like, no matter what sexuality he is. Because, like, that is what Jesus teaches us, like, to love your fellow man, no matter his race, color, religion, sexuality. This guy, Scott, looks like he's got horses on his shirt, so that could represent just like the rider on the white horse in the Bible, which is basically Jesus. Like, see how Damon is wearing blue and white? Just like, that's right, Sarah. Sarah is on the side of the Christians. Just like Jesus is. Just like the Rev 12 woman is. In the new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, that was satanic, because it's to do with the last Christians. Like, Luke throws away his blue lightsaber, meaning he's throwing away the blue of Jesus. They make Luke seem egotistical in the movie.